What's going on, Raptors Nation? Luca here, back with a post-game reaction. Hope you're all doing well. The Raptors finished the preseason a perfect 4-0. They absolutely blow out the Washington Wizards 134-98. The Raptors giving the home crowd a lot to cheer about, as the Raptors, they looked very solid through their preseason, and now they get ready to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves on Wednesday in their season home opener. We're going to talk about this game. Before we do just that, do me a solid, hit a like on the video. It helps it a ton. And please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors content just like this. All right, so this would have been a perfect night for the Raptors, and it would have been a perfect preseason in general if it hadn't been for the unfortunate incident that happened late in the third quarter with a couple of minutes to go, less than 2 minutes. Scottie Barnes got injured and had to leave the game with what was diagnosed as a right foot sprain. And it was so unfortunate to see because Scottie Barnes, once again, had a magnificent outing. He finished the game with 23 points in 25 minutes. He had 6 rebounds. He had 2 blocks. He was 10 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from deep. Scottie Barnes continuing to show a lot of promise with that outside shot. And Barnes, he was assertive. He was attacking. We saw a couple of nice buckets that he got in transition. And Scottie Barnes just put together another excellent display and just, further proving that he might in fact be ready to take that giant third-year leap, as Barnes just had an amazing preseason, all things considered. But then, of course, he gets injured. And, one's got to think, why was Scottie Barnes in this game, in a meaningless last preseason game with the Raptors up a million? I'm not sure why he was out there, but I mean, it was unfortunate because if you replay it, there wasn't a freak accident. It was a normal play. Barnes just, he got hurt. It was just one of those things that he came up limping. And I guess he must have moved the wrong way, but you just hope for Scottie Barnes that this is nothing serious. And the Raptors are going to have a couple of days off before they begin the real thing. And hopefully Scottie Barnes is okay and he's ready to go. And hopefully it's not serious and, it's something that lingers. But you never want to see a player, especially a star player, get injured in a meaningless preseason game. And this was a nightmare scenario for the Raptors that came true. I mean, everything was going well for them. They were playing exceptionally well. And then, of course, this hindered the night. So, again, Scottie Barnes, I mean, he is going to be everything to the Raptors' success this season. And he has been a big part of, this team playing as well as they were in the preseason. So the Raptors cannot afford to miss any time from Scottie Barnes, especially as we get into the real thing and the Raptors are going to be beginning their regular season in less than a week. So please, Scottie Barnes, be back, because that is definitely not something Raptors fans wanted to see in that instance. But I mean, outside of that, the Raptors, once again, putting forth a solid performance that leads you to think that they might be a problem this season and they might actually go on and exceed expectations. I know it's just the preseason and we got to temper our expectations, but man, this team has done a lot of good things, from the ball movement to the offense. I mean, putting up 134 points. And what really pleased me tonight was this team's defense. The Raptors defense, I mean, it was all right in the first couple of preseason games, but tonight it really showed you that once they're locked in, how lethal this defense can be. You look at the Raptors, I mean, they were just all over the Wizards. As you look at, Jordan Poole, a guy who is coming into tonight playing some pretty good basketball. The Raptors limited him to just 7 points on an abysmal 1 of 15 shooting. They made Jordan Poole's life a living hell. I mean, it was tough for Poole and company. As, you look at the Wizards, they didn't shoot the ball well in this one. They couldn't get anything going. I mean, the Wizards shot at 37.5% from the field. They were 25% from 3. And Washington, I mean, it was just a chore for them to get any sort of offense generated. And, you look at the Raptors, they had 10 blocks to the Wizards 4. They were very active in that department. The Wizards did have 10 steals, the Raptors had 6, but the Raptors really showed us how good they can be on that end of the court. And then you look at the Raptors offense, I mean, this bench has looked like a breath of fresh air. The bench was solid once again. The bench scored 62 points tonight. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realized that the bench went out there and scored 62 points. You look at the Raptors bench, which I think is going to be a huge difference maker for this team going into the season. It was an all hands on deck performance. And by the way, it was great to see the Raptors healthy in this one, as they did get the likes of Jakob Poeltl back, who's back from illness. We saw Achua. We even saw Otto Porter Jr. The only Raptor that was out was Christian Koloko, who continues to be out with respiratory issues. Hopefully he's back soon. But you look at the bench, I mean, Grady Dick looked good. He had 12 points. He was 4 of 7 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. It was so good to see Dick hitting the shot, because obviously Grady Dick struggled from the field in the Raptors' first 3 preseason games. But Grady Dick, I mean, he was letting them rip, and he looked good shooting the basketball. He was feeling it out there. And even early on, when Grady Dick wasn't shooting it, he does a lot of the little things well. He moves without the ball so well. He makes good decisions with the basketball. That Grady Dick is more than just a sharpshooter. And then when that shot starts to fall, like we saw tonight, he can be a meaningful player for this Raptors second unit. As you look at Malachi Flynn, he had a terrible outing last game. He bounced back nice, 13 points, 5 rebounds, as it looks like Malachi is going to be a staple of that second unit, as in all likelihood, it does appear that Jeff Dowden Jr., who did not play via a coach's decision, will be the outside guy looking in, as the Raptors have 15 guaranteed contracts. And, it is believed that Jeff Dowden Jr. will not remain with the Toronto Raptors. So it is unfortunate with the whole Jeff Dowden situation. As Josh Bloomberg said, Jeff Dowden's contract becomes partially guaranteed if he's not waived before tomorrow's deadline. The Raps, like I said, already have 15 guaranteed deals. And given that 15 guys have gotten in ahead of him in tonight's game, Jeff Dowden Jr. did not play. It's not looking good for Jeff Dowden Jr. And I think it is a shame, because Jeff Dowden, I think, is too good to let go like this. He wasn't given a fair shot. And it's not like Malachi Flynn ran away with this thing. I mean, he did look good tonight, don't get me wrong, but Jeff Dowden Jr., it looks like his time as a Raptor is going to come to an end. So, yeah, Darko putting his faith in Malachi. You just hope for Malachi he can do more of this moving forward and shoot the ball well, because when his shot isn't falling, he is a liability. But when he plays like this, you got to definitely feel good about Malachi Flynn getting minutes, especially if he can contribute shooting the basketball. 3 of 5 from 3, was 5 of 7 from the field. So a much better game than the last game. It was a complete turnaround from him. We saw Otto Porter Jr., like I said, in 10 minutes, 4 points. The Raptors are going to bring him along gradually as he looks to be healthy this season. And I said on X, go follow me on X, by the way, I think Otto Porter Jr. could be one of the main guys from off the bench if he stays healthy. You look at Ron Harper Jr., he got some time. He had 5 points. Achua, was good to see him out there for the first time this preseason. He had 9 points, 3 of 8 from the field. Hopefully he can put forth a consistent body of work, because I think he could be a main guy from off the bench. He's obviously going to be one of the rotation guys. McDaniels, another guy who I think solidified a rotation spot this preseason. He had 6 points, 2 of 6 from the field. He had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block shot. And then Boucher had 4 points. So when you look at the Raptors rotation, we'll get into quickly now. I know I've done many videos on this, but the 5 main guys obviously going to be the starters: Siakam, OG, Barnes, Poeltl, Schroeder. And then from off the bench, Achua is going to get a rotation spot. Boucher, Gary Trent Jr., obviously, who did not play tonight due to rest. Raptors gave him the night off. And then I think McDaniels earned himself a spot for that 9th spot. So then really that's going to leave 1 spot open for, I think, essentially Malachi Flynn or Grady Dick, because Malachi got 20 minutes tonight. Grady Dick got 19. So, or even an Otto Porter Jr., forgot to mention him, especially since he's healthy. So I think that final spot's going to go to one of those 3, unless the Raptors do something where, they play one guy in that 10 spot, and then they roll the dice with another guy. And the next night, maybe Darko mixes it up that way. But it would suggest, just based on preseason usage, that Malachi Flynn might have solidified that 10th rotation spot. But I mean, Grady Dick, if he plays as well as he did tonight consistently, it's going to be hard to keep him out of the rotation. And then Otto Porter Jr., I think, is the wild card in all this. If Otto Porter Jr. can stay healthy, he can be an impact player on both sides, a guy who can hit the three and obviously defends well as well. So he's one of those 3-and-D players that's always highly coveted. So those are going to be three guys, I think, trying to battle hard and get that final rotation spot. But I think the four off the bench for sure are going to be Gary Trent Jr., Boucher, McDaniels, and Precious Achua. So overall, though, I think the Raptors bench is going to be very impactful this season. I'm looking forward to the bench. It's going to be a lot better than last season. And I think there's a lot to look forward to with the second unit, especially if they can play as well as they did this preseason and tonight moving forward. So a lot to be excited there if you're the Toronto Raptors. This second unit looks promising. And then you look at the starters outside of Barnes, who had a great outing. Siakam was big. He continues to look good. Beside Barnes, he had 19 points, 7 of 16 from the field. He got to the free throw line again, which was good to see. 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He had a blocked shot. OG Anunoby, it was really nice to see OG get it going because he was kind of quiet in the first 3 preseason games. Obviously, he got more shots up with Gary Trent Jr. out. But yeah, OG, 15 points, 2 of 5 from 3, 6 of 10 from the field. I want to see OG be more aggressive with his offense and really try to shoot the ball at a high level like he did tonight. 6 of 10 from the field was very promising. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a block shot. He had a steal. So hopefully we can see an offensive increase from OG this season. And then Jakob Poeltl, was great to see him back. Obviously, you want your rim protector there. He's going to be big in the Raptors' first regular season game when they go up against a very big lineup in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Poeltl came back from his illness, 8 points, 9 rebounds, pardon me, was 3 of 5 from the field and had 2 block shots. And then Dennis Schroeder, he continues to struggle a little bit to find his shot. But look, the offense isn't going to run heavily through Schroeder, as he had 7 points and was 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. But what I really liked from Schroeder tonight was his 11 assists. And that's what they need Schroeder to do. And that's why I think he's the perfect point guard for this personnel. Because when you had a guy like Fred was looking to get his offense. Fred wouldn't have been okay, just putting up 8 shots and scoring 7 points. Dennis Schroeder is going to be okay taking a back seat with this offense. He's going to look to find his teammates first. He's going to look to, defer to guys like Siakam and Barnes and let them handle some of the playmaking as well, or offensive burden as well. But when it comes to the playmaking, along with Barnes and Siakam, Schroeder can help out. And tonight was a perfect example of how valuable I think a Dennis Schroeder can be, because if his shot doesn't fall, I don't think it's the end of the world if he, reverts and really buys into this playmaking Dennis Schroeder, a guy who looks to his teammates and defers. And we saw it, 11 assists, got everybody involved. So Dennis Schroeder had a nice game, even though his field goal percentage says otherwise. 7 points, 11 assists, 3 rebounds, and he just plays with a great deal of energy, and you love to see it. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, you can tell he loves to be on this team. I mean, even late in this game, it's a meaningless preseason game. The Raptors are destroying the Wizards. Dennis Schroeder was up on his feet every time the Raptors got a shot up. I mean, you got to love that. I mean, he's the ultimate teammate. Dennis Schroeder wants to see this team succeed, and you can tell that he's enjoying his time with the Raptors thus far. So I really like the character that Dennis Schroeder brings to this team. And then just some other quick hitters from the Raptors tonight. They had 66 points in the paint. They dominated in that regard. They won the total rebounding battle. They had 60. They had 26 fast break points. And like I said, I mean, this was essentially a perfect outing minus the Barnes injury for the Raptors. I mean, they came to play, and it was important to note the Raptors got off to another poor start, which is going to be something to look out for. Raptors got to avoid getting off to those slow starts and shooting the ball poorly from the field, as the Wizards came out gunning and they got the early lead. But the Raptors, following a timeout, did an excellent job of turning this game upside down. They went on that run And then basically they didn't look back as the Raptors recovered nicely, shot at 51% from the field, 40% from three. They got to the free throw line, which is good to see. This is now 2 straight games the Raptors have gone into the free throw line quite a bit. They were 20-27. So, I mean, yeah. And the Raptors, once again, the assists continue to be high. And that just screams Darko Rajakovic, 0.5 offense, moving the ball around, getting everybody involved. Raptors with 36 assists. You love to see it. And that has just been another main takeaway, that the ball movement has been excellent. And this is just an all hands on deck performance from the Raptors. And they have the personnel that is going to greatly benefit from this. So Darko Rajakovic, undefeated so far. I mean, the Raptors are perfect in the Rajakovic era. I know it's just the preseason, but you got to feel good from what you have seen from this Raptors squad to this point. And I'm excited to just get this regular season going. I'm tired of the preseason. It's over and done with. Let's the real thing begin. Let the games begin. Let's see this Raptors team compete hard, turn heads, and exceed expectations. And let's just hope Scottie Barnes is 100% for Wednesday's game, because it would be a shame if this thing lingers, because Scottie Barnes looks like a man on a mission. I cannot say more good things about him. I mean, Scottie Barnes just looks like a guy who's ready to erupt and looks like a guy who's ready to prove the naysayers wrong. Now, expect the Raptors to make some roster moves, guys being assigned to the Raptors 905. And speaking of which, the Raptors did make a move ahead of their preseason game against the Wizards. The Raptors waiving Maker, and they signed Justice Winslow, the former Miami Heat first-round pick, as Winslow is expected to join Raptors 905. So overall, that's going to conclude the Raptors preseason. What has your overall reaction been to the Raptors preseason? What were some of your takeaways from tonight's win? Let me know your comments down below. Hit a like on the video, guys. It helps a ton. Please subscribe to the channel for more. That is it for me. This is Lucas signing off. I will catch you all again in the next one. And yeah, the Raptors finish the preseason perfect. Until next time, stay safe.